and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm established. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And also, I like working with angels, the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Stephanie Zito. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to me to connect with like-minded women. Now, if you've never met before, then my name is Ray, and I love to help women to crossroads in their path, heal their past, create their future, and transform their present so they can take charge of their destiny in the here and now. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I use future life progression, past life regression, angelic Reiki, guided meditation, angel oracle cards, and hypnosis to help women who feel lost get clear on their reason for being here. And I've also created a transformational journey to help you take charge of your destiny and a journey through the lifetimes. Now, each episode of the show will cover various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Stephanie Zito, who'll be talking about making fear your fuel. Now, Stephanie is an intuitive soul purpose coach who sees right through the stories and blocks that hold you back from the success you desire. Through intuitive insight and channeling your soul guides, she helps you rapidly gain clarity and make the shifts for you to increase your income aligned with your true purpose. Stephanie helps clients make quantum leaps in their lives and businesses and found this gift as a young Peace Corps volunteer in Uganda. Now, following her master's in conflict analysis and resolution from George Mason University, she went on to work in corporate team building and provide transformative experiences in the world for groups and teams. Now, as a certified yoga and meditation instructor, Stephanie uses the power of yoga, breathwork, and meditation as transformative tools for her clients. Stephanie is also a coach, speaker, and podcast host of The Passionate Life. Stephanie has spoken on dozens of virtual and live summits, and her mission is to help 1 million people find their inner spark and turn their passions into profits. So, without further delay, hello, Stephanie, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Hello, Ray. Thank you for having me. I am wonderful today. How are you?
I'm absolutely brilliant. So, before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Stephanie and I want you to be part of this conversation. So, please don't be shy. So, Stephanie, why don't you tell us more about yourself and how we can make fear our fuel?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. As you mentioned, I am an intuitive soul purpose coach, and my gift is being able to really see truly and fully with love and compassion right into what's blocking us, what our fears are, and to help us to gain that fuel to turn our passions into profits and to really live our full, destined, passionate life as we are called to do. I have had quite a journey that has brought me to understand we truly all have a soul purpose, a calling, these things that just spark us when we think of or we hear about. We just really want to bring these certain things into the world. And I can guarantee you, as a human being, as a soul in this body on this planet, every single one of us has a fear. Even the most confident person you see out there has a fear. Even that person that is making their 6 figures a year doing their passion, 6 figures a month doing their passion, they also have a fear. It just changes as we go. It just changes as we go, right? So working with my clients, it's just my joy. When I hear someone's fear, I'm like, all right, let's get ready. Let's do it. And in the talks I give, I usually like to ask, like, if you're here live or watching the replay, let us know. What is this thing that sparks your heart? Hi, Graham. What is this thing that you just love or that you want to bring into the world that perhaps you are not quite doing, you're on the edge of, or you think of? And then these things come to your mind about perhaps why you can't, why it's not the right time. We get these procrastinations that come in. We get these little things our minds like to tell us about why we can't show up on a live video, why we aren't ready, why we don't know enough, perhaps why we are not worthy. these things that come up around, like, why not? Why not? And so my goal today is to bring us what I want to call 3 soul codes to help us bring this spark, to help us do these things we say we want to do. Yeah. And if you do have something that is a fear, please, by all means, bring it in. Let it be part of this soul-filled and safe conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Please, feel free to say hello, write any comments, put your fear in. I mean, I've just overcome one particular fear I have of spending money.
What did you buy? What did you buy? Some coaching? Would you?
We won't go into that one.
Okay. That's okay. Well, good for you. Yay. Well, I truly do believe also sometimes we see something that we think is going to be great for us and around spending money. And we get this block, we get this thing that we're not worthy, or if it's coaching, for instance, that this idea that we won't make it back somehow. And the whole point is when we take action, when we choose, when we move the dial forward, that's the whole idea. We have free will, so we can. When we believe in ourselves, we can. We're going to get right into that. So, congratulations. I'm so glad to hear that, that you did that. And I will say, right, Graham? LOL.
Yeah,
And
thank you,
yeah,
Graham.
I will say, so there was this moment before I started coaching that I will talk about. I'm going to talk about really briefly, like two instances of fear for me and what happened. And the first was when I was afraid of my intuition. I was afraid of my intuition. I did not want to hear what it had to say because I was in a relationship before my now marriage. We've been married almost 11 years now. And the relationship before this one, I was meant to leave. I was supposed to leave it, and I was afraid. And it took inner work. It took tapping into my intuition to be okay with what I did not know would be on the other side. And when I surrendered and when I said yes to change, when I said yes to no, to that fear and to leaving that relationship, everything that I desired, everything that I wanted to manifest, it's like it just lined right up, one in front of the other. Yeah, I see you nodding, so you get it. Right. So it's just like one in front of the other, just rolling forward to the job I desired, moving to California where I wanted to be, meeting my husband. Interestingly enough, certain things come falling out of the way. So it's really worth, if you have something right now that is falling out of the way, that is not working, it's very possible to get excited about that, which may not be intuitive. We may not want to. But what happens is that that next thing, it's like, oh no, wait, your guides are like, no, wait, it's okay, just wait for what's it's going to be even better. And it gives me chills to know this. Yeah, it will be even better when we get to the
That,
other side. And the next piece of that is fast forwarding to I'm now married. We have our first child, our daughter, and I had wanted to start coaching, like really bring my gifts forward in this way. And I had been afraid of how people would take me because I felt what I did was so weird. Now I'm like, oh, it's so normal because
yeah,
the chakras and the intuition. And at the time, I just didn't. So anyway, the fuel that came forward was at the time my husband lost his job, and it fueled both of us to take these steps forward. It's like, what am I going to choose, to go get a full-time job that I really don't want, or am I going to go for it? Am I going to take the leap? And once again, what happened? The synchronicities showed up. When I said yes, the synchronicities showed up. And this is going to make sense as I move into these soul codes. So, and you're right, Graham. Yes, many suffer from fearing fear itself. Yeah, many suffer from what? The main fear that I notice is this fear of how we will be seen. For many people, we are afraid of failing in front of others.
yeah.
Because if we fail in front of others, what are we going to feel underneath that? Maybe we will feel shame. We will feel like the outcast. And now I'm going to get into why that matters, like why this is so normal for so many of us and how it's okay what we can do with it. This fear, it's think of it as a code, a coding that is in our DNA. We have been given this code. Like imagine we are these supercomputers and we have this code. What is this code here to do? It's coded to keep us safe. Back in caveman times, if we did something outlandish outside of the norm, what would happen? If we got kicked out of the tribe, we would literally be cold and we would get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, and that would be game over for us. That's like in my mind, that's how it looks back then. It probably is not exactly right, but anyway,
Who knows?
who knows? But in general, we get that. We understand. Like, thank you, DNA. Thank you, coding. Thank you for keeping me safe, right? And at the same time, this is interesting because this coding, this DNA, is in conflict, in a sense, with our soul's codes. What does our soul know? Our soul knows to be expansive. Our soul wants us to really just bring our soul's work into our life, into this lifetime that we have on this planet, in this body. So our soul knows this, and our human self, in its desire, in that coding to keep us safe, is constricting us. So the energy, the frequency that we are looking to play with is this expansion, because we know we are safe. We really know we are safe. Something might happen and we will recover. It's not like it was thousands of years ago. So the first code that I want us to think of, and when we think of this, think of how we are sort of speaking this language of expansion. We are speaking the language of the universe itself. We are speaking the language of manifestation when we talk about these. So the first code is to think about how you can bring the energy of being your own inner loving mother to your fear. So how does this look? I think typically what we've been taught, or at least when I think about what I've been taught, when we have fear, what do? We can overpower it. We have to overcome it. It's these words that are almost like going to battle. And what we're going to do instead is, instead of, yeah, thinking of it as a barrier, right, Graham? Yeah, we're going to think of it as how we can tap into it. How can we move with it? How can we be with it? So instead of avoiding it, pushing it aside, or battling it, which is that fight or flight, we can move with it. So imagine for a moment a fear you have, and that you can bring this sense of your own inner loving mother to this fear. So your own inner loving mother does not have to be your physical mother. Perhaps you've had a wonderful relationship with your human mother. I know they can be complicated. And what we're thinking of is the very best of the best mothering, those best aspects of mothering, right? What is it? It's nurturing, it's loving, it's kind, and it's inquisitive. We ask really wonderful questions. And as we do this, Graham, as you're saying, we learn that the fear restricts our intuition. You are right, yes. So what we do is, instead, we are taking that and we're sort of flipping it. So now we are tapping into that intuitive sense. That mothers are very intuitive. They carry that. So we can carry that code. So we can ask the fear. Like, imagine you can even cradle it, or you can just hold it like a toddler, or even my 6-year-old boy who's all legs and arms, but still hold him. and, and say, well, what does this fear want? What is it that why are you tapping on my door? What is it that you need? What is it? What is it that you don't, what are you protecting me from? Are you protecting me from feeling sad? Are you protecting me from feeling shame? Are you protecting me from what could happen if I did fail? What are you trying to help me with? Because that fear really is trying to help. It may be misguided, but it is trying to help. So when we ask it those questions, we almost diffuse it. It's like when we tap into that emotion, it can allow it to diffuse a little bit. Like, let's feel into it. So be underneath the fear, under this iceberg, there is something beneath it. And typically that relates to something that must have happened probably in childhood, when you were born, or even before, that might even be coded in your family's DNA. And we can break these chains. We don't have to keep reliving them. It does not have to be part of our karma. Yeah. And Graham, you're saying you remember those infancy pictures captured in your heart. They remove the fears. Yes. How beautiful is that? Yes, because when you think of that, you feel safe. You feel supported. You have this inner loving mother that you, or father, you can picture that too, that can provide this sense for you. So this is like your soul expanding, being in that expansion to look at this aspect of yourself, your human self, this aspect of your small child self that is just seeking and longing for that support, to say, I am safe, I am supported. So that's our first code, is really tapping into that inner loving mother and exploring the fear. Yes, Graham, that's right. Exactly. I am safe. Thank you so much. I love it. Beautiful. Right on board. The second code is to now ask yourself a question. It's going to kind of like flow right in from this inner loving mother, is to ask yourself the question about belief. What do I need to believe to feel safe to do this thing I say I want to do? Let's say that I am new to my intuitive gifts and I feel so amazing about them, and yet I am afraid I will be judged. I am afraid I will be judged, which is very common. If I come forward, if I am shown, if I am seen. So what do I need to believe to feel safe? Yeah. And in this belief, typically these beliefs would be like, people people need this, people want this. If I get a negative comment, it's not about me, it's these beliefs, right? It's depersonalizing, yeah, these things that someone could say, because it can happen. And when I see my clients get their first trolley comment, I celebrate them because it means they have stepped enough outside of their bubble, outside of their safe space, that they are now being seen by a broader public. They are
Yeah.
serving more people. Yes, exactly, right? And with that, we celebrate being seen. And then when it happens, it's almost like it doesn't even, if you just brush it off the shoulder, it's like not even a big deal. So what do I need to believe to feel safe? This belief, I am safe, I am loved, this is needed, this is important. This is like a vibration that vibrates higher and vibrates stronger than the fear, than the doubt. Those are lower vibrations.
Mm.
So we get into this place that has this belief like, I am safe. This is my heart's song. Um, and Graham, you're saying I quit fearing what others think of me and only give that which I would love to receive. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you bring this up, because this is moving us into our code number 3. Okay. So as we talk about the belief, as we believe this, as we say it out loud, even that saying, I am safe, we are literally providing the universe with a mantra to deliver us back those same results.
Yeah.
Because we know that when we have a view of the world, that is what we will receive back. Because I have seen people who do not trust the world, and what do they receive back? They receive back information and actions that show them how they cannot trust people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yeah, we create, we co create, we are constantly in co creation. So, what we want to look for is, what is that belief that we desire? And we say that, we write it down, we allow it to be seen, we allow it to be heard by the universe, so that as we manifest that, we can receive that back. Yeah,
Yeah.
we take actions into the believing. Choosing to breathe positivity, then what the other option brings us down. Yes, yes, exactly. We breathe the positivity. We literally embody the positivity. Exactly. So beautiful. So code number three is that now we get to choose. We have free will. We get to choose. And what do we get to choose? In the choosing, what are we going to choose? Are we going to choose constriction? Are we going to choose dulling that light? Or are we going to choose, when we are choosing to bring forward something that is in our soul, in our heart, then we are completely in alignment. We are in alignment with our highest self. We are in alignment with what the universe desires for us to bring into the world. And when we do that, we are choosing love. Graham, that's exactly what you said. Exactly what you said. We are choosing love. Yeah. And when
Yeah.
there is love, we cannot fail. Even those things that feel like failures, they are just stepping stones towards that next thing that is in our path, that is in alignment for us. And so we are looking at, for the sake of what? For the sake of what will I do this? For the sake of what will I invest in this coaching? For the sake of what will I put my life's work out there? Will I put my book out there? Will I show up for a live? Will I hang my shingle as an intuitive? Like whatever that thing might be, whatever your fear is, if you are watching, by all means, please like post it here. It's so important as we get it out there, it diffuses it.
Yeah.
And so we say, for the sake of what? Like for me, for the sake of what? It's kind of for the sake of, well, there's few things, but it's really it's for the sake of my soul. Like my soul feels alive when I am helping my clients and I am seeing them overcome their fears and show up, and then they get paid for what they love doing, and they're like, oh, it worked. It's like, and yes, of course, like I cannot help but show up. And the more I do it, and the more I tap into other things that I've been kind of afraid of, and I do it, it feels so alive. It's for the sake of living an alive life. It's for the sake of going to my grave knowing, like, oh, check, check, check. I did this. I did that. I did not let the idea that someone else would laugh at me hold me back. I did not let the idea that I could fail hold me back from trying. I choose to be all in because love chooses to be all in.
Yeah.
When we have a fear, we're just not all in yet. When we believe that thing that helps us to feel safe, we can choose to be all in. It's like, well, when you're all in, buckle up, because your guides are going to be right there to help you. Your guides are going to be right there. The universe will be right there just to place these things in place. Like my coach was placed in front of me synchronistically. My husband was placed in front of me synchronistically.
That's always a good one.
I did not realize how much. And I will tell you, so when that happened, I had things fall away. I had moved to California. I was not dating someone anymore at the time. I wanted to meet someone. And my friend was going online with whatever apps, to meet someone. I was like, I don't want to do that. I had plans to go meet someone I had met in Costa Rica in New York City. I was going to go with my friend. My friend bailed on me. It was for New Year's Eve. My friend bailed on me, and I was just so upset at the time. What I did not realize is I truly believe it was like the universe, like, nope, cross that off the list
Yeah.
because this is the one. He's right over here. And so I went on this app, and he was like the first person who showed up, the very first person. And the rest is history.
Yeah. That was absolutely amazing. First time on an app.
Well, that wasn't the first. There was another app I tried, but this particular app, it was just playing around with it, and he was right there, which is, and what could I have done? I could have been in fear. I could have said
Yeah.
no. I could have not met up with him. There's so many things I could have said no to, right? But I said yes.
Yeah.
I could have also forced the cards. I could have forced the cards. I could have. My friend bailed on me. I could have said, "Well, I'm going to New York anyway," and trust me, it would have been. I can see. You can just see. Wrong decision. And even there, I do feel like it would have just maybe taken longer. It would have been like
Yeah.
more of a roundabout route to get to where I needed to be. And I just feel so grateful to have surrendered to the
Yeah.
idea that it's not just us, it's not just our ego. There's something greater at play, and we surrender to that. We can, it's like you have to like let go to allow the guidance to show up. You have to let go a little bit to let that guidance kind of show up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and
yeah.
Jeremiah, you're saying I love finding that others think they can hold me back. I know it means that what I do is rubbing their unconsciousness. Exactly. You're so on spot with that. And then we can kind of surrender to loving kindness with them because they don't control whatever they're trying to control is about them. It is actually not about you.
Yeah.
You are just providing that mirror, right? To show back to them that soul study, that lesson that
Yeah.
they're there to hear and to learn.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then that's what you did in December 2001. You came here for 3 weeks holiday. You met the woman Destiny had there for you to meet 19 years ago. Oh my gosh, it gives me such chills to see that.
Yeah. Graham's
Yeah.
from England initially, and now he lives over in America.
Oh my gosh. See? And you could never have even planned that, right?
No, no, that's the beauty about when you surrender to the universe, to your fears. You know, it's amazing what synchronicities, you know, will come in and present themselves to you that you go, why was I fearful of that in the first place?
Exactly, right? Yeah, and as we look back, and as I'm just really recalibrating, some of the work that I'm doing is moving into a book that got the download to write, and it's really about like our base beats. It's like what are our base beats? What are those things that align us with who we truly be? And it's as much the food we eat, the water we drink, the surrender we have, the tapping into our intuition, like finding those things that keep us on track. And I just lost track of like what my point even was. You said something, and it was like, oh yeah, this is happening.
But yeah, that's yeah, that's the beauty. It kind of like goes off in different directions. And whilst you're thinking about that, Graham says all those that knew me said it would not work. Oh well, guess they got it wrong.
Yes, exactly. See, and how great that you did not listen to them. How great that you listened to your inner sense. You listened to your inner guides. You listened to taking that risk. Yeah, and you did not listen to those who were in their own fear, who were in their own distrust. Love it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
beautiful.
it is. Graham loves the laughter.
Yeah, right. And one thing I kind of I think of is when I think of what we just talked about here with these soul codes, these three soul codes, is I want to just bring us back to when we were younger. And I look at my son who is now learning to ride his bike, and how I look at the analogy of how he's afraid to fall. It's very normal, right? Just like we talked about, to be afraid to fall. I get to be the literal inner loving mother with him and to help be that voice to help guide him. It's like imprinting for him how it can be for everything else he does moving into the future. What do I know? I know he will learn to ride his bike.
Yeah,
I've seen so many other kids do it. I know he can too. I know, could he fall? Yes, he could fall. Is he going to get back up and try again? Yes. So the beauty is, I get to be right there, being the inner loving mother. I get to choose to help him believe. I get to be I get to be that voice. Hi, Laura. I'm
hi
so
Laura.
glad you're here. Hello, welcome. I get to help be that voice of belief, encouraging him and saying what he needs to believe, like, you're going to be okay, we can do this. And then choosing, coming from love, choosing to take action and to go out and to practice, to go out and do it, not just talk about it, but we're going to go out and do it. So it's kind of a nice analogy. I would imagine many of us have learned to ride a bike, and so we can use that in a very simple way for those other things that are coming up for us that we're looking to choose, those things where we feel a fear and a nudge. So we feel that sense of expansion when we get that nudge for for what is in our best and highest good, for what is in our best interest. And that can really help us to take that fear and have that inner loving mother talk to it and say, I got you on this one.
And it's really good, you know, you brought up about your son, because obviously there are a lot of fears that we get in childhood that actually come from our parents. Um, so if you realize that, you can stop your child having that fear.
Yes, and as we become conscious of this, we can do it with our children It's that consciousness of how we talk to ourselves. It's that consciousness of how we talk to our children. So whether you have children or not, we can always look at, how am I talking to myself? I even just, it came to mind yesterday and I wrote this post. If your inner dialogue was a food, what kind of food would you be eating right now? And it was so interesting to see when we look at it that way. I think of like the junk food. I could be eating Cheetos. I could be drinking too much wine to not have to think about something that is bothering me. Or I could be really fueling myself. I could be drinking my lovely, yummy green juice. I could be having a beautiful salad with like so much variety, right? So we can think of like, what am I choosing to say to myself today?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Graham said, I said the same to my children. Being a parent has its own fears, but this is what makes us better or worse at it.
Yeah, and breaking the chains, yes. And so we can definitely, absolutely help our children with that as we are conscious. And also, this is the beauty of even as an adult, knowing that, trust me, as a parent, I know I may not be getting it all right. And the thing is that my own children, like they have that birthright to have their free will and to make their choices for themselves as well. And using fear as a fuel, a really beautiful way to do this with intuitively is to even kind of muscle test. It's like, how can we decide if we're looking to make a decision? We can get into the body, we can get into the body's knowing by understanding, where do we feel something that is not right for us. Like animals do this. We see like the what is it, the hackles up, I can't think of the right word, like the hair goes up on the
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's the hackles.
the
Yeah,
hackles, it is. Okay, I feel like I haven't said that word in forever.
yeah,
So, yeah, on the dog when they're sensing fear, they're sensing something's not right. So when you get that sense of not right, knowing where that is in your body, we can deepen that through meditating. We can deepen any of these things through practicing, and then we can get that sense of like, well, where, if I say this thing I want to do, where am I getting a spark? Am I getting a spark? And the next thing might be that fear. It can be very quick, but what is that first sense? Many times it will be that sense of expansion. It will be that sense of excitement. And then the next thing we can do is we can also kind of muscle test for it. We can ask this question: is this in my best and highest good? Is it in my best and highest good to invest in this coach? Is it in my best and highest good to uh, tell the world that I am now an intuitive coach? I'm just thinking of these things that come to
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
So if you've got an example, you can put one on there too. So typically, if it's a yes, your body will want to move forward with that. It helps if you're standing up. So you can muscle test with that movement forward. If it's a no, your body will want to retreat, retract. Is it in my best and highest good? Is a really nice way to ask that question, because when we ask it in different ways, we can get a little bit of a, what's the right word, like a skew. Like,
mm,
should I? Do I want to? It may be in your best and highest good, and you don't want to.
yeah,
Like, it may be in my best and highest good to finish all this water. And in the moment, I may want to drink coffee.
yeah. Exactly. But you're going to finish the water.
Absolutely, exactly. It's in my best and highest good. Yes.
And then also, if you went and got a coffee now, the screen would be blank, and then I'd have to be talking to everybody. So, so you can't
Exactly.
actually go and get a coffee at the moment.
It wouldn't be in anyone's best and highest good, right? Yeah.
Exactly. It would. And Laura says, "Oh, lovely free will." Yes.
It's so funny, right? It's so funny, the free will, isn't it? It becomes like this playground of choice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you have so much choice that you go, oh, do I do that? Do I do that? Do I do that? Oh, should I do that? And it's like, I want to do
Well,
it all.
yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of surrendering to our intuition. Surrendering, like I know you work with the angels. So as we practice, and I the thing that changed for me most was the practice. When I mentioned these other examples I mentioned earlier in our conversation, it took me quite a bit of time to make these decisions that were in my highest good. And now it can be so much quicker because we know there's a radar. I know when I'm feeling fear. There's a radar I can sense because I'm practicing it when it is in my best and highest good. So even when I may not feel like it, or when I feel afraid, I know this is what I am called to do, right? I have meditated on it, it has come to me, it's channeled through me. And so I have this greater awareness, which helps me trust. And I've had the experiences enough to know that even if I try something and it doesn't work, it's okay because it is prepping me for the next thing. It's prepping me for that next movement. Back before I was ready to start coaching, I started working with like an MLM, and I actually knew at the time I loved the products, and it really helped me. And I knew it would be a stepping stone for my coaching. I just knew it
Yeah.
because it helped me so much just with understanding just so many things around even just sales and just these sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, like these base beats
Yeah.
of how you structure things. Like I'm a very creative, intuitive person, so it gave me some more of that structure, like the right brain stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is absolutely brilliant. And as Graham says, you learnt.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And so what I'm talking about here as well is in that learning, and maybe you've experienced this as well. And if you have, please by all means comment and let us know as we practice these intuitive things, as we meditate, as we practice tapping in to that intuitive space, as we practice asking those questions, it gets stronger, right? It grows stronger. And I think the point of this is that this is available to all of us.
Yeah.
So there's less lag. Ray and I were just talking before we got on live about how things are just speeding up.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think it's in part because when we are so tapped in, when we get so aligned with that soul alignment with who we truly are on the inside, with how we are in the world, these decisions, they happen quicker, the downloads come faster. So then it's just more a matter of asking, well, how do I line this up in linear time and space so we can do it? We don't have to do it all at once, but what is the next step? Getting that intuitive download for what is next? What is next?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely perfect. So, as you know, I do guided meditations and angel oracle card readings, and each week I like to ask my guests what they would like me to do. So, Stephanie, would you like me to pull an angel oracle card, or do you want me to do a guided meditation?
I would love an angel oracle card.
Look, I've got it
Absolutely.
in my hand.
So aligned. Please
There you
tell me
go.
you want to be heard.
Yeah, we like using angel oracle cards. Now, of
Yeah.
course, as when I do cards, I do the cards for what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. Because even though I work with the past, with past life regression, we work with the past to heal the past so that we can be fully present. And although I do future life progression, I work in the future. If we know what's happening in the future, we can be fully present. So it's always what we need to know for our highest good now. So, what does Stephanie and everyone who's watching this show live on the replay need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? What does Stephanie and everyone who's watching this show Let's see what we've got. I just love the way these cards come out. So, overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything.
Yes. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love the cards. And you know what? What I love about that too, when I see the sword and the stone, it's like this illusion. It's like I was just telling with someone earlier today how with Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, the Good Witch tells her, "You had the power within you all along." It's like an illusion that it's stuck. I love it.
Yeah, which is absolutely perfect because it ties in with what we've been talking about. So and it's also to anyone watching, and it's a confirmation for Stephanie as well that yes, you can come you can overcome anything you want. Just go within.
Mm-hmm.
It's always within you to be able to overcome that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, right. And what I've also noticed is, as we talk about this, is knowing that we are not alone. Just like you pulled that card, and we were not alone here. You know, we have the angels working with us. By the same token, even when we're going through a difficult experience or feeling that fear, when we surrender that we are not alone and that we are guided to this for a reason, if we are guided to this desire, to this spark, to this answer for a reason, that we cannot go wrong. It is coming from love. It's meant for us. And so we can overcome these obstacles because it's not just us and our ego. There's something much greater at play that as we surrender will help us.
Yeah, exactly. And Graham says this is the breakthrough of our fears. And Laura says, Amen. Um,
Amen. Yes.
which is absolutely perfect. So, Stephanie, do you have any insights or thoughts to leave our viewers?
Yeah, I think the main one really is to take time just to check in. Whatever is going on in your world, you know, however chaotic, busy it may be, whether it is or not, to take time to go inward and to dig into that spark. See that spark within you. What is this gift? You have a gift. This gift is here for a reason. You have a purpose. Something you're passionate about, it is there for a reason. And even if it seems something as simple as like drawing or coloring in an adult coloring book, or even something just that seems so simple, picking up the phone to call someone, there's a spark, there's a guidance that is there for you. And as we put one foot in front of the other, this is what these actions are, the things that help us to move the dial forward. It's these small little movements that move us from fear to action. It's these small daily things that support us. So if it's something simple like drinking water, something simple like going for a walk, these are the things you may not even realize it, but it might be this thing that helps you to get more connected with your soul and your spirit guides. It might be that walk where you get this creative hit about what to do next. So allow yourself to be guided. Say yes. Just say yes to those things that spark your soul.
Ah, that's absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for that. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this and found it insightful. And the words of wisdom Stephanie has given you will help you further on your journey. So, Stephanie, if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
You can find me simply on Facebook, Steph Zito on Facebook. I do have a free gift for your listeners and viewers.
Yeah, and I'll
It
be
is
posting that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a belief creator. So that thing that you want to believe that might not quite be there in your belief zone, I have something to help you get it there. It comes from neuro linguistic programming, and it helps to just bring this thing that you desire to believe right into that zone of belief. There's just a link bit.ly/ belief creator, and I know Ray will be posting that. So those are
Yeah,
two beautiful ways to find me and get in touch with me.
exactly. And the links will be direct links. So you don't need to copy them. You'll just need to click on them and you will go straight to those pages, so you can actually check them out. And Laura said bingo for what you were talking about earlier. Graham, house. And Graham says, yeah, he loved that, Stephanie.
I'm
So
so glad, Graham.
so that was brilliant. So thank you everyone for watching. And if you have reached that crossroads in your life and you need some help and guidance, then I would love to be that guide for you. So please feel free to reach out and connect with me, and we can arrange a free 20 to 30 minute video call to chat to each other to find out how I can help you on your journey. And of course, I have an Angel Wings membership community, which is open, where you get a chance to grow with the angels, gods, goddesses, ascended masters, oracle cards, and other members to actually spread your wings and soar. And of course, don't forget to check out my website where you can sign up to a free newsletter where you get a weekly angel oracle card. Plus, there's a gift for guided meditation, de-stressing, cutting cords, and a few other things. And I'd like to again thank you all for watching this and invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more women who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny, just like you. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then do subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when the show goes live, and to check out some of the other videos that I've posted on there. Stephanie, again, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you, Graham and Laura, for contributing to the show as well. And I look forward to seeing you all again, same time, same place next week. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Thank you, Ray.